Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Larry, and I'm just a little too lazy to put in a theme song to this recording. So, you're gonna get what you're gonna get right now. Welcome to Spoiler Alert, and this is me trying to remember and comment on a movie that I saw at this point now about just under 12 hours earlier than I recorded this. And today I saw X-Men: Days of Future Past, and I'm gonna right off the bat say it was enjoyable. It was actually a very good X-Men movie. On par with First Class, definitely. I mean, obviously it has the First Class cast. What they were looking to do was kind of a real quick plot point, I guess. I don't know. Long story short, pretty much the X-Men from the first three X-Men movie, well, Wolverine, goes back in time to the First Class cast to try and stop something going on with the Sentinels and everything along those lines. So I don't want to give too much away, even though I'm going to give too much away. Bottom line, and I don't read the comics. I don't read comics. Not that I don't read comics. It's just I just never read X-Men. So I go into this kind of like just fresh as a new storyline for me. Centered around Wolverine, definitely from the current crew, if you want to call him that. Hugh Jackman. No one else. Once Hugh Jackman either dies or quits playing Wolverine, that's it. The character is done. You will never see, you should not see at least, another Wolverine movie or Wolverine in another X-Men movie, because no one else can do that character justice. So Kitty Pryde and sends him back. Well, actually, before I get into that, it was great to see they pretty much got everybody back to reprise their roles. Ellen Page's Kitty Pryde, Halle Berry as Storm, and I'm talking about the old crew. I mean the First Class crew. They're young. They're going to come back. They just did Days First Class a couple years ago. But I'm talking about the original crew from X-Men United, and The Last Stand. Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, of course, Hugh Jackman, Ellen Page, and Sean Austin, I think is who plays Iceman. I keep forgetting. So all of them, came back to do what they do. So that was pretty cool. But pretty much Wolverine goes back to the early 70s. It was a little political. Actually, it was a little too political for my blood. I know the storyline. The way storyline was early 70s, pretty much the Vietnam War is over, and that's where the story comes in about the Sentinels showing up, to get those Sentinels going, because, the fear of mutants. Throughout the story, throughout the movie, they're talking about, and this is not a political platform. I'm not asking for comments on politics. I'm not saying, yes, we did, no, we didn't. I have my political views. You'll have your political views, views about whatever wars. So I'm not getting into that. Just for my taste, I didn't go along with how they portrayed us losing, in my opinion, quote unquote, losing the Vietnam War, but whatever. That's part of the story. So, all right, Sentinels come in. And then the movie itself, in the early 70s, was taking place pretty much centered around Mystique. Mystique killing Tratch, the midget. Forgot his name already, and I have no notes in front of me. But the guy from Game of Thrones, the little guy, who just... I hate to say it, everyone kept laughing in the theater. It's just kind of cute to watch him just kind of walk around, because he's little. Anyway, so they're going back. Hugh Jackman goes back in time to stop Mystique from killing him, because by killing him, it leads to the Sentinels becoming just impervious to everything. Because essentially, the future Sentinels, the Sentinels of quote unquote today, have the ability from Mystique to adapt. In any situation. So, right off the bat, beginning of the movie, fantastic battle, amazing battle. I have to say it was great. I don't know half the characters, but it was just a lot of action, a lot of just not teleporting, but it's like Portal portals kind of. Just a lot of just nonstop action for the first maybe 5-10 minutes. Then it goes into dialogue, storyline. There's no downtime to this movie. The whole time you're enthralled into the story. You don't have to see them using their mutant abilities every 3 seconds. So I like that you saw a lot of it, but you didn't have to see it, and it was story driven, which is good. I like that. Yes, that battle scene was really, really good. There was another battle scene later on in the White House where they stopped Mystique from killing the midget, and then Magneto, you see him then starting to pretty much go off on his own, turning heel. Before we get to that, though, my biggest problem is going to be between this movie, X-Men, Days of Future Past, and the Avengers, Age of Ultron coming up. The character Quicksilver is in both of them, which I'm still trying to figure out how that's possible. They're 2 different actors, but the X-Men franchise has him to his roots, being Magneto's son, where Avengers, I think he's just like we're military tested on him from the Germans or something, a Hydra. But anyway, in this movie, in X-Men Quicksilver, that character was phenomenal. There's a scene, they break Magneto out of jail because he supposedly killed JFK, but they break him out of jail, and it's Professor X back in the early 70s. Professor X, Magneto, Wolverine, and Quicksilver. And what happens is a bunch of security shows up, like 6 security guys. They all fire. Then it slows down. Time doesn't stop, it just slows down. At first you think Professor X is doing it, but you find out that he doesn't actually have his telekinesis or telekinetic or whatever it is abilities. But it's actually what happens because everyone's moving slow or barely at all, yet Quicksilver just moving regular time. That whole scene in that, it was essentially a kitchen area, was amazing. How they filmed it, how it was done. It was funny. It was practical. It was just awesome. Quicksilver was great in that movie. Really, whoever played him should be in Avengers. The kid who played Kick-Ass is playing him in Avengers. The guy who played him in X-Men was in the first Kick-Ass, but I don't know what else he was in. But he was awesome. He was really, really good. And then, pretty much cut to the end. Long story short, they saved the day. Like, whatever's happening in the past is also happening in the present with them. So, of course, it comes down to the nitty-gritty. And, there are surprises. I know this is a spoiler alert, but there are a few surprises at the very end. Not after the credits. I don't know what happened after the credits. We were in this desert. Some guy had his hands in the air. I don't know what was going on. But before the end of the movie, even that I'm not going to give away because there was some cool stuff at the end. But bottom line, Days of Future Past, I definitely give 4 out of 5. I'm not doing half ratings. 4 out of 5. And, I think they could have probably done some more with the old crew and the new crew. Charles Xavier of the 70s spoke with Charles Xavier, the present. But, I think they probably could have gotten away with like an actual like time travel, kind of like both groups fight. But that probably would have been just too much. It really is an X-Men First Class sequel. I mean, the majority of the movies with that cast. And it was just done good. And yeah, so that's, again, me just kind of rifling off on X-Men Days of Future Past. This is just essentially 9 minutes of saying the movie was awesome. Go see the movie. Thank you for listening. And I will try and do better next time. Take care.